Going to be making a really nice simple chocolate cake today. So first thing I'm going to do is go through the ingredients. So I've got all the ingredients laid out. Now I've got 6 ounces of margarine, 6 ounces of caster sugar, 5 ounces of self-raising flour and 3 eggs, the whole eggs. Then we've got 1 ounce of cocoa powder, 2 tablespoons, which is about 30 ml of milk, any milk, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So what I'm going to do is put it all in a bowl and then we're going to sort of mix it up. Now you can mix it up by hand or you can do it with an electric mixer. It's entirely up to you. So I'm just going to put all the ingredients in the bowl. So there's 6 ounces of margarine. Then we've got the caster sugar, again 6 ounces. It doesn't really matter on the order. Now the flour, I've got 5 ounces of self-raising flour. I'm actually going to sieve it, so just put it there. Do it from a little height and don't do it on the edge of the table, otherwise you have it all over the floor. So just sieve that. At the same time I'm going to put the sort of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of that in there. The idea of sieving it is to get a bit of air in the flour, really, the whole mixture. So just carry on doing that. Just push those through. And then I'm going to pop in the eggs, 3 eggs. So I'm just going to crack me 3 eggs. So let's bring those a little bit closer. Just give them a whack. That's it. Got a little bowl there for the shells. Try not to get any shell in there. If you do, dig it out with the rest of the eggshell. Now next of all, got 1 ounce of cocoa powder. And I've also got 2 tablespoons, which is about 30 ml of milk. Now as I say, you can either do this by hand, which I would if I didn't have an electric mixer, and you just, you know, keep on sort of mixing it until it's all nicely mixed up, and you know, sort of flick it over and roll it so you get a little bit of air in there, keep the air in there. So break up the margarine, do it by hand, no problem at all, it still works perfectly. Now I'm going to use my electric mixer. Let's just do it slowly to start with. And just keep going until it's all mixed up and looking nice and sort of fluffy. But the main thing is get everything straight from the side of the bowl, get all that flour mixed up. Look at that, it's already starting to look good. Can speed it up a little bit now. I think that'll do it really. Perfect. So now I've got the cake mixture all ready to go. I'm going to get myself 2 cake tins and I'm going to start putting a thick layer of margarine around the inside, give it a little bit of sprinkling with the flour, and then really just put the cake mixture in. The reason we're putting the margarine and a little bit of flour is to make sure the cakes don't stick to the tin. So I've got me 2 cake tins. Now I did measure these, 7 inches across by 1.5 inches deep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some margarine, I've got clean hands by the way, and just kind of spread it nice and thickly all the way round. It's only very roughly. And again, same with this one as well. Try and get it into the corners of the tin as well. Make sure you've got clean hands. Right, there you go. Just right. I'm just going to put a light sprinkling of the flour. So now we've got the margarine and the sprinkling of the flour. That helps to prevent the cakes from sticking to the tin. What I'm going to do is pour in that sort of chocolate mixture. So try and get roughly an equal amount in both. It's not, you know, it doesn't matter if it's a little bit more on one, because one of them's going to be the base and one's going to be the top part of the cake. And obviously you want to tend to use the better one for the top part of the cake. Now I'm just going to kind of spread this out. Try and get it all around the edges, and if you can get rid of any air as you go, all the better. This one looks like it's got a bit more in, but that's all right. That'll do. Let's get them in the oven, get them cooking. The next thing I'm going to do, got myself a baking tray. I'm just going to put those on there. It just makes them a little bit easier to get in and out of the oven. Now I'm going to put my oven on. I've actually got mine on 170 degrees Celsius, 325 Fahrenheit, gas mark 3. Make sure your oven is preheated, and what I'd say is you want to cook it for about 20 minutes. So I'm going to get my cakes cooking. I'm going to put them in roughly about the middle of the oven. So I've been cooking mine for just about 18 minutes. Let's have a look at it, see how it is. Pull them out, give them a shake in case they're a bit wobbly. Now, what I am going to do is I'm just going to stick a knife in. There's a little bit on the knife. I might just give it another minute or so, just to make sure. So I've got my cakes, and I pulled them out once and just had a quick look, and they're a little bit wobbly. Now I actually left mine in total for about 23 minutes. So pull them out, give them a shake, see if they're too wobbly, which these look alright. And I've tested them already once here before, but let's have another go. Yeah, that's nice and clean. That's perfect. That's how you want it. It should be almost a little bit sort of, you know, bouncy to the touch. So I'm going to pull those out, put them on a wire rack, and then we're going to start letting them cool down. So let's take them out of the oven. So I've just taken those out of the oven, and just for a moment I'm going to let them cool down just for a few minutes so I can lift up the tins, turn them out, and then we can put them on the wire rack. So just leave them there for a few minutes so you can handle them. Now I've only left them for a few minutes, but I'm just going to go around the edge and make sure that the edge is not sticking to the tin in any way. That's it. That's fine. This one should come all the way around. Perfect. So let's pull those out and put them on the wire rack. I'm just gonna. It's cooled down a little bit now, so ooh, still pretty hot though. You have to be gentle with them because they're still really nice and soft. You might want to wait 10 minutes rather than a few minutes because these really are quite hot, but oh, that looks good. Just to show you the two tins, look at that. It's not stuck, just right. Now we've got those on the wire rack, I'm just going to leave those for quite a long while, you know, like an hour, just to really cool down and kind of firm up. So just leave them for a good hour or so. Now I've left my cakes for just about 1 hour and they're sort of nice and cool now. So what I'm going to do is put those aside. I'm going to get on with the filling that we're going to put in the middle and also the topping we're going to put on top. That's it. Just going to clear up as we go. So I've got myself a bowl, and now what we're going to do is make up the filling and the topping. Now we're just going to mix 3 ingredients together. Going to use 3 ounces of margarine, 5 ounces of icing sugar, and we're going to use 1 ounce of cocoa powder. So let's just put them all in, mix them up by hand, and it's done in a flash. We're just going to mix it up. That's it. Just carry on doing that, kind of breaking it down and mixing it all up until it's gone into a really nice sort of smooth filling really. Now I've been mixing mine for about 2 minutes and it's just starting to turn into a paste, but a thick paste. Now what you can do is add just a tiniest dash of really hot water and it will make your life easy. So I'm going to add just a tiny little bit. Oh, I do mean tiny. I do. If you put too much in, it's just a bit too liquid. That's it. quantity, hardly any water, but it really does make a little bit of a difference. I think we're done really. Just get that last little bit of ice and sugar all kind of mixed up. And there you go. So now I've got my chocolate filling and topping. I'm just going to move that bowl aside, bring a plate, and we're going to start making it up. So I'm just going to grab me chocolate cakes, which have all nicely cooled down. I'm just going to place that there. There's no need to chop the top off because, you know, these are almost flat anyway. That's perfect. So, but if you want to, you can use like a bread knife just to slice it off nice and flat. Now the other one, which is just the same size, obviously. Look at that. It's almost looking like a chocolate cake already. So let's put some of the filling in the middle first of all. Just going to put that chocolate in the middle. Let's just kind of smooth it out. I'll just use a little bit more. I'm just going to go around the edges. There you go. Perfect. Let's put the other bit on top. Give that a bit of a squash down. There you go. Now let's just put the rest of that sort of chocolate mixture on top to give it a topping. Just scrape the spoon. And then just smooth it out. You don't really need a lot. Just get it around the edges. Might just use this knife. I've just had the knife in a little bit of hot water just to help smooth it out a bit. But just try and get it all the way around the edges. Because it's quite rich, I don't think you need to have enough to go around the sides. I think this is nice just on top. Like that. Let's say, you pop it in a bit of hot water, just sort of shake it off, and then you can just help to smooth it out a little bit. Doesn't matter if it's a bit rough anyway. And next of all, just to dress it up a little bit, I mean, you can simply just put some lines in it. Like that. Go the other way. There you go. Simple as that. And then if you want to put some little Easter eggs, as it's sort of Easter, let's just pop some of those on there. We've also, if you want to, you could put a little chicken on there. There you go. Happy Easter. Nice simple cake, looks delicious, and it's really tasty. So I got my Easter cake all done. Now what I made the other day was a chocolate bird's nest. Look at that. Beautiful. And that can go on top. And I've also got some royal eggs. Just going to pop those in there. That's it. And then of course we've got these royal ducks. So let's just put the royal ducks there. Look at that. They've got a little crown each. And they can sit on there, and that can be a centrepiece for your table. Really delicious. Now I've got the little chick. Just let them have a run around. Now I'm going to try a little bit of that cake. So let's just nick a little piece off here. Only a small bit, so you can kind of see it really. Look at that cake. That is really nice and moist and delicious, and I'm going to just try it. That's lovely. The cake in itself is beautiful. If you want to see how to make this sort of bird's nest, a chocolate bird's nest, I've done a separate video for that, so go and check it out. And I've got my royal ducks with the crown, look beautiful. I mean, you know, we've got all the eggs, so it's going to be a really nice chocolatey Easter. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you again soon. The original Naked Chef. Love it.